What's up, guys? I'm Kien, and I am live from the Brojo. I'm just here to do a quick episode recap of the 1 hour Dragon Ball Z special, which consists of episode 109 and 110. Before I go into it, I would have done this way earlier if it wasn't for Dragon Ball Super basically breaking the internet and I could not get it in time to watch it. I literally stayed up till 10:30 trying to get the stream up, but because everyone was just trying to stream this episode, I couldn't get a hold of it. And I had to work at 6, so I didn't get a chance to do it. So I felt really bad for anyone who came over with me to watch the Goku v Jrien fight, because I wanted to feel like the Mayweather versus McGregor match, and it ended up us just watching Digimon Tri Bridge, which I also think you guys should watch because it's hilarious and it really brings the heart of Digimon Tri out. But back to this, we are doing just an episode recap and what I thought about the episode, because I honestly, before I go into this, I absolutely loved this episode. This was amazing. So we'll go into the first episode, which is episode 109, The Ultimate Enemy Approaches. Goku, now let loose the Killer Spirit Bomb. Well, Goku starts off still in his fight against the Warrior of Love, Jrien of Universe 2. Jrien is about to use her secret power, but before Hands asks what Goku would do with his own wish. Goku awkwardly says something like, oh, I'll do it for my wife and kids, and then brings up, I would do it to fight the strongest person, where Jrien goes, well, lucky for you, I am the strongest person you'll fight. Granted, again, to go into this, Goku is still fighting Jrien in base form, so that's a testament of how strong Jrien is compared to Goku, because Goku is still keeping up with her, and Jrien seems like she may or may not be losing some of her drive and strive. So she laughs this off, and then already, and granted, and has her allies give them the love energy to become super Jrien, which is, well, your typical magical girl stuff. I honestly really love the Universe 2 fighters' big shtick on being a magical girl, because of the fact that, I have copious amounts of friends who love Sailor Moon, and I like the parody that they do, because Sailor Moon does have a Super Sailor Moon form that involves having wings, and Jrien, all she really does is just gain super tiny butterfly wings comparatively to her body. So, again, I don't like Universe 2 as fighters. I love all the Universe's different shticks that go with it. So, back to Jrien then uses love arrows to attack, then a barrage of arrows come at Goku. Having Jrien thinking she has beaten Goku, appears going to go as Blue to take down Jrien and launches her towards Jrien. Now this is where the episode really starts to get into the whole Goku versus Jrien stuff. Jrien is terrified of Jrien and runs screaming about one day he will fall in love with her, because she asks him, are you in love with me? Because of the last blast that really got people, it's basically like attraction in Pokemon. I guess that's the analogy I'd like to say. So Jrien just looks there cold-faced, and she's like, alright, no, leave now. Thanks. And so, Belmont then psychically links with Jrien to tell him that it's time to fight to his desire and start with Son Goku. For me, this was an interesting scene, because, this is the first time I've seen a God of Destruction actually legitimately interact with his warriors that didn't involve them screaming at the arena like everyone else has. So, I think there's something a little bit more with Belmont and Jrien as they're psychically linked together. So Jrien then starts walking, unleashing his energy, causing the pressure of the field to change and causing everyone to be like, oh my gosh, what's happening? It seems everything's getting weirder and everyone's getting stronger. I want to point out, this is a common trope in anime that I usually find to be rather annoying most of the time, because of the fact that everyone has to stay how they felt. But here it makes complete sense, because you never could really gauge how strong Jrien was throughout the entire tournament till now, besides the one slap that caused Universe 3 fighters Majo Koyo. So having him shake the arena gives you a sense of that this is a threat even the gods of destruction are curious about. I think one thing people might point out is like, well, you can definitely scale Jiren's strength in the opening of the Limit Breaker Survivor, but honestly, that's an opening, so openings can be skewed to make your protagonists look good or their opponents look good, so you can't really go by an opening to see how strong a character is. So then Jiren and Goku meet face to face, and the stare down of power begins. Like literally, Jiren emits energy pressure from his goddamn eyeballs, causing Goku and everyone else to feel it. Goku is holding himself back from this pressure. Like it's like he's holding his arm how he usually blocks punches from this just pressure of energy coming at him. Goku then uses a Kamehameha to attack Jiren, but Jiren's energy is so strong that it makes a barrier around him and blocks Goku's iconic blast. The reason I found this part to be so interesting is not, to my knowledge, in Dragon Ball, and again, I could be really wrong because I've watched copious amounts of anime, and I mean, I love Dragon Ball, but I don't really nitpick at Dragon Ball, like, oh, did you see this fight scene? Did you see this fight scene? This hasn't ever happened. Enemies have usually just deflected it or let them hit, absorbing it. So to me, it was a nice change to an attack. Again, could be wrong. Someone could point this out. Then begins the clash between Goku and Jiren, and at first Goku starts out as Super Saiyan, then goes to Super Saiyan 2, then Super Saiyan God, then Super Saiyan Blue. It is noted that he doesn't go to Super Saiyan 3. The assumption, from what everyone and myself included, is the fact that Super Saiyan 3 wastes a copious amount of energy to use. And so while this is all going on, the Supreme Kai of Universe 7 is wondering why Goku isn't going Super Saiyan Blue right away. And Krillin and everyone else in the Peanut Gallery of Universe 7 explain that every good martial artist likes to gauge their opponent, power of their opponent. You would think that the Supreme Kai would know this by now. The resurrection of X Saga is definitely a big showing of Goku restraining his power to want to see something stronger. Goku has done this all the time. So my thing about the Supreme Kai asking that is the dumbest question ever, because it's Goku. Goku doesn't hold back because he's like, I want to see a good fight. Which is noted every time he's done that, there has been a good fight. It is noted while this is all going on, the more Goku powers up, Jiren does start to block and be more on the defensive. That isn't saying much because Goku is still not landing a blow and Jiren is holding up on his own. When Goku goes to Blue, Belmont makes a comment about how useless it is, and the Kai of Universe 11 retorts by pointing out all the fighters are watching intensely at this fight. His theory is that if Goku loses to Jiren, all the other fighters may lose their will to face Jiren, which is a very interesting concept that I think is before what happens in 1 out of 10 is a plausible theory, because the only person that they've gauged to be a really strong combatant is in fact Goku. Everyone else is a strong combatant, but Goku has gone above and beyond, and a lot of other Universe 7 fighters have gone above and beyond to show that they are strong and worthy fighters. So as the fist fight starts and Goku punches Jiren through rocks, Jiren looking unfazed as the fight progresses. Goku is shooting Ki Blast, keeping a distance from Jiren and dodging his attacks. When they're in close combat, they're fighting past all the other Universe fighters who are looking in awe. Those scenes are one of my favorite scenes because no one else is jumping into a fight. This is a battle royale. Like we have always talked about, you can fight whoever you want, but everyone is just so struck in awe that these two strong combatants are fighting. That is how intense this fight is getting. To point out why I absolutely love this first fight between Jiren and Goku is because it reminded me so much of the martial arts fights Goku had during the Tenkaichi Budokai martial arts tournament he had in his youth. Yes, it was amped up by flying Ki Blasts and insane Super Saiyan Blue Kaioken scenes in the mix, but for me it captured the heart of the fight scenes, of the classic Dragon Ball fights. Toei really did amp up the animation of these two episodes because the nostalgia in me couldn't be hidden. When I was watching this fight, I felt like I was 7 years old again in my living room watching Toonami and watching classic Dragon Ball or GBZ. The excitement I felt as a kid watching Goku fight returned. I was again somewhat at the edge of my seat, wondering if Goku had any chance at all. I say this based up until this fight, I honestly thought the fights in Super were rather boring. Battle of the Gods and Resurrection of Arc fights were just recycled, not very polished compared to the movies that they were based off of. And the Universe 6 and Black Goku arc fights, to me, felt like they were not exciting whatsoever. Their stakes were so bland. Even a handful of the fights we've seen in this arc were just meh. But this fight took it to a caliber worthy to put it on my top 10 list of badass anime fights. The fight continues and Goku is on the green while Jrien puts his on the ground while Jrien puts his boot to his back, basically trying to force Goku to yield, then lifting up and telling him it's over. Believing Jrien has thrown Goku out of the ring, he stands up there in victory, only to feel the ground beneath him shake. As the hand of the Kaioken Blue Goku is lifting himself up into the ring. Goku unleashes his full force, staring Jrien in the face, then rushes at him with Jrien using his eyes to shoot a barrage of energy blasts, hurting Goku badly. While the other fighters are spectating, all in awe of Jrien's power, Krillin then has hopes that Goku can go Kaioken Blue times 20, and then Beerus nervously explains he's already fighting at that. Now everyone is worried. Then Goku plans to use his last trump card, the Spirit Bomb. He asks everyone in Universe 7 to give him that energy, and they do. So, except Vegeta, because he's a dick. Just kidding. There is a reason why he didn't. While Goku is charging his Spirit Bomb, Ribrianne tries to attack him, and Vegeta attacks her. Goku is worried he won't be able to charge the Spirit Bomb fast enough, and Jrien calmly says, "Take your time. You say this is your strongest attack. Go ahead and charge it." I think this is a window to Jrien's character because of the fact that he is interested in seeing how strong Son Goku really is. This to me is a mirror representation of the fight between Goku and Hit because he wanted to see how strong Hit could get. While the Spirit Bomb is charging, all the other gods of destruction are watching in both joy and terror of these two fighters, praising the fight as extremely interesting. Which again, that takes a lot because gods of destruction are kind of assholes about this stuff. Goku charges the Spirit Bomb and fires it straight at him. Jrien uses one hand to push it, and Goku goes Kaioken Blue and becomes a shoving match until Jrien puts more force into his push, and Goku then becomes engulfed into the Spirit Bomb's energy. And that is basically the end of episode 109. So 110, Son Goku wakes, new level of the Awaken. Now, everyone is watching as Goku is being engulfed by this energy. Belmont mocks Goku's attempts to try to beat Jrien as nothing that just a failed attempt. You'll never beat Jrien. While this is all happening, everyone is now realizing that Jrien is this rumored warrior that is stronger than a god of destruction, and Belmont just stands there like, you guys are totally right. That guy will fuck you up. Goku is then engulfed by a black hole that is created by a Spirit Bomb, and you see an energy floating around him, and his eyes lose all color. To me, this is the hint of a new form. Then there is nothing. There's a big debate on whether Goku was killed by Jrien or his own blast, and it is ruled as self-destruction. While this is going on, all the other universes gather around Jrien with a look of battle ready, doing the exact opposite of what the Supreme Kai of Universe 11 theorized it would actually do, because it actually raised their fighting spirits and they want to fight Jrien. While this is going on, Toppo and Dispo form around Jrien to make sure their comrades won't be fighting alone. So, then there is a strong pressure shaking in the arena, and everyone is like, "Yep, it's Goku." Beerus then calmly says, "He's coming." A flash of light explodes and Goku appears out of it in his new form. Everyone notices the change in Goku. In this form, Goku is emitting heat and ki so strong that everyone can feel it. The second bout between Goku and Jrien commences. As this goes on, Goku is learning to adapt in the fight. Basically able to easily dodge Jrien's blow through Toppo and Dispo, and calmly walking away from Toppo's Justice Flash. The fight goes on, and it looks like their fists aren't moving because they're moving so fast. While this is going on, Piccolo notices that Goku is evolving. While he fights While the fight's getting closer and closer to hitting Jrien, the Universe 11 gods are in shock, and Zeno is, well, being Zeno, surprised that Goku's getting stronger and is glad his friend is actually, putting up a fight. Everyone was wondering what is happening to Goku, as Whis is in utter excitement and Beerus is looking in shock and maybe a bit of jealousy. Then Beerus says, under his breath and very nervously, Goku is using Ultra Instinct. I was wrong in my fan theory of what Goku's new form is. It has nothing to do with mastering God Ki or Super Saiyan or a new Super Saiyan form. The latter I'm happy about, but instead is the Bruce Lee philosophy of the emptying one's mind and going with the flow of attack. Ultra Instinct is very similar to the martial arts technique Mushin, which highly trained martial artists can use. What it is basically you are reacting to an attack without thinking and you just naturally go with the flow. It's just kind of like how you can chew gum and walk. You just kind of naturally do it. That's basically my analogy to Goku's fighting style of Mushin. It's just a natural instinct of fighting. Everyone around hears Ultra Instinct and are all surprised and awestruck to it because some gods can't even reach this point. They go on to explain how it happened while Goku technically absorbed the energy of the Spirit Bomb to keep his body going. It technically was clashing with his own energy, unlocking his hidden potential. So basically, another theory was this: Goku absorbs the Spirit Bomb energy and that's how he gets his new form. It's technically not that Goku is running off of the Spirit Bomb energy, but the form was unlocked by the clash of his hidden potentials. The fight rages on and Goku screams with a demonic voice and lightning is flying everywhere. When you think Goku has Jrien on the ropes, you find out Jrien was still holding back and Goku is no longer in Ultra Instinct form and is flung far back into the arena. I want to point out this scene is because Ultra Instinct seems like it could be a bad form for Goku, as he does lose all control of his motions and is just going off of instinct because it's Ultra Instinct. So when you look at it like that, you have this weird, maybe it's just a primordial form that you just kind of go with the flow. While this is happening, Hit attacks Jrien and they start fighting. Vegeta then asks Goku what happened. Goku has no idea and Jrien is about to attack, and Goku then vanishes. The episode ends with Hit fighting Jrien and Frieza having Goku maybe about to destroy him. A lot of this scene is very reminiscent to Dragon Ball Z, where Goku has a blast in the face of Frieza after the Destructo Disc killed him, and I don't think Frieza is going to kill Goku. He's going to repay the favor that Goku gave him years back by not killing him just like he did. So my final thoughts of these episodes was, it was amazing. I don't know how else to explain this. I already explained it. Felt very nostalgic to me personally, as a person who has watched a lot of shonen battle manga, that it's nice to see that Dragon Ball Z can still, Dragon Ball Super, not Z, can still be relevant in this time. Like I said, this episode broke the internet. No one could reach the episode for a good 4 hours, so that's just proof that how hyped people were. I honestly loved every minute of it. It was a classic Dragon Ball minus the long power-ups and whatnot. It had everything the fight scene should carry. I loved my favorite part though was the re-instrumental Limit X Breaker, but in an orchestra style, and I love the new Jrien and Goku fight music. My final thoughts is if you haven't watched it, you should. You can find it on Crunchyroll, Funimation, Verve, all those streaming sites. It is by far one of my favorite episodes. It is my second favorite episode. The hour special, because I'm going to combine it as an entire episode, is my second favorite episode of Dragon Ball Super. More or less 110 is maybe not as good personally for me as 109, because I like the whole Goku struggling to beat Jrien, and 110 does that, but I think 109 does it better for me, because like I said, it felt like a classic Tenkaichi Budokai tournament. So yeah, thanks for listening, guys. Have a good day.